Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. My name is Silvi Halimatussa'Diah. I'm from Islamic Community Development C, and today I want to tell you about Egypt. Reason to choose Egypt. The reason for choosing Egypt is the developed and oldest country in the world. Egypt is a special country in addition to being very rich in civilization, science, and culture. Egypt is also rich in history that is popular in the world, such as the story of Moses, Joseph, and Pharaoh to the romance of Queen Cleopatra. The city connects the city energy with diverse culture, social class, and natural environment are also found in Egypt, which explain that every part of the city has its own vibes and culture. Where does Egypt shine? Most of its territory is desert. Its people live mostly around the Nile. But even so, to impact or give the taste of Egyptian society is the number one in the world. So, many students from different parts of the world are very interested in the academic atmosphere. The Egyptians and Egypt is the world put a positive and healthy image of Egypt into the world. I love its ability to transportation. I love that I can reach to get taxi or take a bus, tuk-tuk, train, or Uber. Lifestyle in Egypt. The people of Egypt still uphold Islamic values. Salat congregation is still often done by the Egyptian community. Mosques are still filled with worship. Besides, covering the aurat is still very weak. For men, the clothes that are often worn are robes or trousers. Very rarely do we find a man wearing shorts in public places. Likewise for women, most of them still wear veils. Even we still find many who wear the veil. Very rarely do we find a woman wearing a short skirt. Another custom that is the value of Islam and still held closely by the people of Egypt is reading the Quran and remembering public places. Besides saying hello when we meet, still often we get, whether it is done by people who know each other or not. Egyptians are among those like to help, whether in the form of material are non-material. When we get lost in the street, for example, then we ask, then they do not hesitate to give information. Even then, do not hesitate to drive, used to get the destination. The Egyptians' population is also famous for its high nationalism and unwavering stance. Culture in Egypt. Egypt are the Arab Republic of Egypt is a republic shaped social democratic stage with a head or stage, a president. Geographically, Egypt is one of the countries in the North African region with a hot climate. The territory of Egypt is large, surrounded by barren desert. Only a small part of Egypt is suitable for agriculture. One of the rich that's become the flagship for Egypt is the Nile, as well as support of Egyptian culture, science, the past. The Nile is a sort of life and livelihood support for Egyptian. Egypt agriculture sector relies heavily on irrigation from the Nile. The ancient Egyptian greatly appreciate the appearance and cleanliness of the body. Most bathe in the Nile and use soap made from animal fat and lime. Men said to maintain cleanliness using fragrance oils to skin and refresh skin. The Germans are made with simple white linens for both women and men in more elite class using wigs, jewelry, and cosmetics. Music and dance become the most popular entertainment for those who could afford to pay to see it. Instrument use includes flutes and harp. This ancient Egyptian culture is closely related to the Nile region and community belief system. The relics of ancient Egypt are as follow. Number 1. Pyramid. Pyramids are triangular buildings that are multi-story. Number 2. Sphinx. Sphinx is a stone statue depicting a lion shape and human-headed king. Number 3. Mummy. Mummy are preserved corpses. These mummy are then buried in pyramid. Number 4. Hieroglyphic writing. This writing is written on papyrus, which are sheets of some kind of paper. Education in Egypt. Education in Egypt is very dynamic and has given birth to many generations of reformers in the Islamic world. To its influence on the patterns and thoughts of Indonesian scholars. Egypt becomes the modern state of the Islamic world after. Education in Egypt directly influenced the intellectual development of Muslims in the archipelago. The history of education in Egypt, especially Al-Azhar, has a connection with the dynamic of Islamic religion in the country, can be seen by its alumni who have so much feeling and developing knowledge that cover all aspects of social, political, culture, and religious life. In line with the development of education in Egypt, in the archipelago also experienced scientific development and also significant institutionalization of education, where in Nusantara more and more scholars who have Islamic knowledge and ambition to create a cadre of influential scholars in the Islamic world. Al-Azhar is known oldest Islamic university, Islamic center in Egypt. One of them is Al-Azhar Mosque, the oldest mosque in the world, located in Cairo, Egypt. Egypt Al-Azhar Mosque is a mosque that has an important role in the history of Islamic civilization, but in its development, now Al-Azhar Mosque development into Al-Azhar University, with its center learning Islamic science from all over the world. In Arabic, the name Al-Azhar means the most magnificent mosque. It is said that this name not only describes the beauty of the architecture of the mosque, but also has a philosophy related to Islamic history. It is the second oldest university in the world. Al-Azhar University, where students from all over the world flock to study at the Center of Islamic Studies Development. A tour through the mosque as well as the university where the development of Islamic Studies Center will provide experience as well as interesting science, so that we can learn the science of religion. Transportation in Egypt. Egypt, a country unique traffic, has a variety of transportation that we can ride, including tuk-tuk, red bus, metro, Volkswagen Kombi, Onta, and Tramku. Food in Egypt. Egypt also has a number of tempting specialties to sample. Because the population in Egypt is majority Muslim, halal food can be easily found throughout the country. Here are some typical Egyptian foods: shawarma, kosari, tamia, hawausi, full medams, molokia, kunafa, and sahlab. So many Egyptian lives that I can tell you. Thanks for attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.